Hey everybody, and welcome to Board Game Batcave, where this week we are reviewing Madam Ching, which is a board game that I think I hadn't never heard of until we just whipped it out and played it one night. But we're going to review it in our four traditional categories of components, theme, replayability, and gameplay. And first we're going to introduce ourselves, and I am the Board Game Black Belt, Chris.
I am Gil, the Gilmeister, Gilmeisterson. With Gil to my friends. Y'all call me Gilmeister, but Gil to my friends.
Is that McGillicuddy?
It is. It's something like that.
Hey everybody, it's the OGG Mike back again this week.
And we're going to jump right in with both feet with the Talkmeister. The Gillinator.
Components. This is I'm going to go ahead and throw it. What this is it's going to be a power game, okay? So the components that you're going to use, it's a board game with cards. It's got little bitty elements representing jewels and gems and coins and missions. It's got a ton of different elements of the game and everything. And I dug it. I liked it all. The artwork was really cool. You know, some of the stuff, it wasn't cartoony, but it wasn't super realistic either.
Yeah.
You know,
just
the right amount of middle road for what I like and everything. And I mean, like the jewels representing diamonds and rubies and turquoise or whatever, you know, they're just little bitty chunks of plastic and stuff like that.
They're not real.
But they you know,
they make you feel
that's so much better. They could have drawn a little diamond on a piece of cardboard, a little chip, and used that. But you know, when you got the little bitty like ruby, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, they I've seen other games where they went way out of and went like the ring for the Mafia game and other stuff like this. But it's these little bitty elements that you add to a game that make a difference to me. You know, and everything. And like I said, the artwork looked cool. They gave you everything you needed, and I like the games where it's like incorporates. This is money. This is all the cards and the boards and everything else, and it all looks really good and works together. I'm going to go 8.5 for components on this. I liked it, and I thought they did a good job on it.
Yeah, I think this is one of the better artwork games. Artwork in a game.
I really like the artwork.
Especially like the cards you get, the mission cards, or the voyage cards, expedition cards, whatever you want to call them. They make a panorama, and it's pretty neat. And it kind of reminds me of the artwork of Jamaica. I'm not sure if it's the same artist, but it looks very much like it. And they did go out of the way to make the gems three-dimensional, and the little Koku
coins. They had a little square cut out in the middle, and they look pretty.
It's very well done, and they make sure that all the different pieces of the game are distinguished from the other pieces of the game, so that you don't confuse your missions, which are little cardboard squares, with the cards that are expedition mission cards.
I did like that about the cards. Not a lot of print. The words. No words on the card. They use all icons and stuff like that. And I like games that do that well because it's so much easier to grasp a game. It's we tried to look some stuff up in the book.
That's why I disagree, because I think that this game, even though I played it 5 times.
Where you still have to look at
stuff
stuff
in the game. Stuff up because I can't remember what those symbols mean. But it's a minor inconvenience because the artwork pleases me enough that I don't care if there are words there.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go pretty high on because of the artwork on this game, and the fact that they went out of their way on some of the components to entice you with new different things. Yeah. And so I'm going to give it a 9 on components.
Yeah.
9 is a pretty high rating, and I can see how you get there, though. It is a good-looking game, and it does have a lot of pieces to it, but they're all different enough that they stand out, and you can easily keep them separate and know what they're supposed to be doing for you. The main part of the game are the cards, and so the artwork on the cards themselves is to me, the key of the components for this game, and it's really nice. It's not flashy by any means. It's kind of understated and a little bit subtle, but still looks really nice and gives you a good feeling of, long ago, Far East kind of a feel sort of thing. So I like the components quite a bit for a lot of the same reasons they mentioned. They could have easily just given you a little round disc, a red disc for rubies and a blue disc for the sapphires or whatever, but instead they went ahead and give you the little gems and that kind of stuff. So for all those nice touches and just the way it all blends together and fits really well, the little junk ships look like that era ship and stuff like that. So for all those reasons, I give it an 8.5, which is pretty high, and really no downsides other than just a little bit understated maybe.
So what you just said about it all blending together or working or whatever, I did like that about the board where all the different things you do to set up every round. Like you're flipping over two cards face up and one face down. That's your reward, and it's a card that you can use to continue your voyage or start a new one or whatever. I do like how they have a spot for each of those on the board itself, and it's almost like, and it's like two eyes open on, the two that you face up, and then a non-seeing eye for the ones you face down or whatever. So I like it whenever the board's got its own little area. This is where you put these cards in. This is how you present them and stuff like that. The board really aids in helping you play the game,
Sure.
I think. So.
Yeah, they did a nice job. You got a place for the discard piles, and because there are a lot of different types of cards in play, but they keep it all really.
It makes setup easy.
It's a really functional board.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty neat too. The way it looks like
It's a good looking game.
Looks like you're actually, the sea winds are blowing you in a certain direction down the board. But anyway, it's a pretty game.
It is. It looks good.
So let's talk about themes.
Theme. It is a pirate game. You're trying to complete voyages. You're trying to maybe screw over your buddy a little bit and everything.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, you can do that. And I kind of like.
Well,
I mean, it's a pirate. Yeah, you're a pirate. You're supposed to be able to do that. Admit there are certain elements that we'll talk about in gameplay that makes this a more involved pirate game than what we played. Because
It's not combat.
no, it's definitely not. But I mean, we've seen quite a few pirate games here in the past year or two, and I don't know if this does anything so much better, mechanics wise or anything like that, But I don't know. I guess the way it looks and everything that's helping me on the genre. Because maybe, it's like a pirate game. I don't know if I could get that excited about another pirate game. But whenever it's got certain elements coming in from other directions or whatever, I think it's a pirate game, but it's a cool looking pirate game, So I guess I'm going to go 8 on that. I mean, we've all seen a ton of pirate games or whatever. And this was not, the theme of it is not what stood out for me in this game. So 8, yeah.
Well, I think they took the theme of pirate and kicked it up a notch. Because I think adding historical accuracy a little bit, Madam Ching being an actual pirate, the most successful pirate of all time, actually, that kind of gave it a flavor. And you're all competing to get to run her actual ship, the China Pearl. So that to me made it better than just, you're a ex-pirate trying to fight Y pirate and competing for booty or whatever. So,
but really, they just use her name for the title of the game. She really has no influence in the game.
No, but it's got this, because it's Madam Ching instead of like Blackbeard, you have that whole.
You get an idea. Yeah, you're going to get a different flavor of pirate.
You get the Far East flavor, and like in Jamaica, where they actually give you a little history of these different pirates that you're playing on this deal. That actually has nothing to bear on the game.
Yeah, that is true.
Whereas in Madam Ching, I feel like I'm in the Far East pirating, and then when I attack another ship and steal one of your cards, it actually feels like we're competing pirates for the same head pirate or whatever. We're working for the same person, but we're trying to outdo one another.
Yeah.
And we're trying, which I've never seen anybody do. You're trying to get down to Hong Kong to
And
raid
for
it.
this pirate game, they emphasize a lot more of your travels than actually doing pirating stuff. You know, so
The journey is
It
more
is.
important than the destination.
Yeah.
So it's got a lot of flavor for a pirate game to me. A lot more than just a float your ship around, shoot some cannons at somebody, and steal money.
Yeah.
This one is just full of flavor, and so for theme,
burst
because I already love pirate games, and then they add the historical aspect and the beauty of it, like you know, seeing a whole journey unveils before you. I think I'm gonna go to 9 on that also.
components are really helping carry this game.
Yeah. It's
A lot of different areas.
That's
you
which
know.
I don't understand why it's such a hidden game. It's like not very many people have heard of this game, but I don't know why, because it's a great game.
Yeah, the theme on this is a good, for me, it's immediately a hit. I like pirate games the way most people like zombie games. So, you know, I go into these pirate games, I don't really know why I like them so well, but I usually enjoy them. So, I was excited to hear that there was another pirate game out there, and it's different though. This game plays differently than other. I was trying to think of something to compare it to, and it really is a unique, it's a unique mechanic that they're using here. You're drawing cards, and you play these cards out to try to further your voyage, and you either go straight or you go down at a diagonal, and that's really all there is to it. But the further your voyage goes, the better chance at a better booty that you're going to come back with and stuff. So you're trying to go, for me anyways, it seems like the game's wanting you to go and explore more and discouraging you from fighting as much. There is still some of that in there, and if you can successfully raid from one of your competitors, you're going to slow them down a little bit. But a lot of the big rewards are in trying to keep that voyage going, and you're also trying to collect icons, and the only way to do that is to keep playing the cards out there to get those icons on the cards. So it's a pirate game, but for me at least, I didn't really feel a lot of pressure to try to mix it up with the other pirates. I was just trying to get out there and get what I could and get back and start a new mission. So
I think I did one overtly pirate thing, and Chris is just a pirate at heart. I mean, he will do 90% of the pirating at a table, you know.
So for me, I didn't really feel piratey, but at the same time, it didn't bother me. I liked it, and it's enough of a pirate game that it fits the theme.
It's not just tagline pirate,
but
it is pirating.
Yeah.
So for that reason, it works, but it's not overwhelmingly. So it just comes in at a 7. Not great, but not bad. Still a good time though.
Oh, there you have the thing, and that would lead us into the gameplay.
Gameplay. So basically, you're taking cards for completing so well in the previous round or whatever, and you're using these cards to not only try to get certain icons grouped together where at the end of your voyage you can turn them in for achievement cards or whatever, but it also, I don't think I've ever seen it before, the little travel cards that you're playing one after another. You've got to play a greater number than the one before it on those cards to continue, and if you can't ever do that, well, you have to start a new voyage or whatever. That's a pretty neat game mechanic that I enjoy, and the way you're getting cards, and everything.
I got forced into starting many voyages, trying everything I could to keep going, but eventually, if you don't have the cards, you don't have it, and back you go.
Yeah, like I said, in the gameplay itself, the cards, you have to look up a card or two per game. We did, or whatever. But now that I've looked them up, I'll know what they are next time. I don't. It's not like they're so complicated or whatever.
Yeah.
The mechanics aren't that, huge amount or whatever that I can't remember what we had to check on last time or whatever. what I do have a problem with, mechanic-wise, gameplay-wise, and me and Mike were talking about that earlier today. It does. I mean, there's strategy involved in this, and good gameplay and stuff like that. But there's also quite a bit of luck involved. You know, because not only the cards you're going to try to get for completing, you know, first, second, third, or fourth, or whatever, that dictates what cards you get to take in what order to continue your thing. And even then, some other pirate can maybe steal a card, like you did several times from my hand last time. I've got some strategy or whatever. You'll be like, oh, let me look at your hand, and you'll take something and give me another junk card or whatever. I mean, there's strategy to it, but there's quite a bit of luck and stuff you can't control in this game.
Which is luck.
Yeah, but I don't know if I'm that great a fan of that much luck in my games. Maybe a little too much luck for me.
Maybe you were relying on too much luck.
I won. All I'm saying is obviously what I was doing was the right thing to do.
It must be all luck.
Yeah. So really, game mechanics and gameplay, the way they do the travel and the cards and stuff, I like a lot. I thought it was a neat thing that I hadn't seen before. Pretty cool, but the gameplay seemed at times more luck than skill based for me, and maybe a little too much. So as far as like gameplay, I'm gonna go 7 for that. You know, so not horrible, but some things I was not a fan of. You know.
When I first saw this game and I got it out and I started to read the directions, I don't know why, but it intimidated me. I could not figure out some of the rules seemed to be not making sense to me. So I had to watch some videos on people doing it, and it actually never clicked 100% until I actually played the game.
Yeah. There are videos about board games on the internet?
Yeah, I thought we were the only ones.
I'm going to check that out.
Alright.
So it did click once I started playing it, but it was like I didn't understand it fully until I actually saw it in action. And I don't know what it is about this game, but I think it's because it had some new...
the cards making your voyage.
Yeah,
I haven't seen certain things like that before.
It was just not striking a chord with me about how do you move your guy now? Why would you move it that way?
Yeah.
And, until you see it played, but it's well worth it. The gameplay is a lot of ways to win.
Yeah, I do like that.
Seem to fold together nicely, and then you can try different. So you can take the long game, or you can take the short game. Where I was oftentimes trying to take the long game, going on the longest missions. You don't get a payoff until the very end, but it's a bigger payoff. Or you can save cards so that you can get to Hong Kong, which may or may not work for you. Oftentimes it doesn't. And so it's got a lot of different aspects to this game, which makes it very intriguing to me. It makes me want to play it more than once. But
the gameplay is also, all the scores last night were pretty close.
We're all within
you
one.
were third, like you were. I forget. I mean, yeah, we were all within one of each other.
One behind you, and he was one behind me.
Yeah. So I mean, it's one of those games where, and I honestly thought I was doing really good the whole game. I mean, you were screwing me over a little bit, but I mean, I thought I was just rolling. And then at the end of the game, when we count up all the points, I mean, I've won by 1 point. I'm like, whoa, that's really. It was a close game.
It was.
You know.
Yeah.
It's deceptive, which I like because I can usually hang back looking like I'm not doing good, and then,
Let the plowing begin.
So I'm going to give it a pretty high score for gameplay. I personally thought it, besides being different enough that it confused me at first, I don't really see any downsides to gameplay, and so I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Yeah, this game is going to get a pretty high rating on gameplay for me, and a large part of that is its uniqueness. It's a different thing than what I've seen before, and we try to play as many games as we possibly can. It's sometimes when you see a whole new thing like that, it can be a real swing and a miss, but this was very different, and it even kind of makes you think, well, why would you come up with that idea to move move the people forward? But then once you just start playing it, it works, and I liked it. So I think a big part of why I like this game is its uniqueness, and I haven't seen this style of gameplay before, and I've only played it a handful of times. I've not really done very well at it, although I'm starting to kind of figure out an idea of how to give yourself the best chance. But there is a lot of luck involved in it with the randomness of the cards and everything. So, but yeah, I really liked it, and I can't think of any other game to compare it to that directly. So for those reasons, it's a fun, different experience for me, and that gives it a 9.
Whoa.
I knew this stuff. Alright, so let's see what everybody thinks about replayability then.
For the faults that I have in the gameplay and the pirate genre, which I mean, you know, it's a cool pirate genre twist on it, with the Asian flavor and everything. But for it to be a pirate game and me not caring about certain things of the game mechanics, replayability for me, because I really like the way it looks and the art style they went with and the direction and everything. And even though it's more luck than I like in a game, I'd play this game. You know, I was the one that suggested we play it last night whenever we got together and we're like, what are we going to play? I'm like, I want to play Ching right off the bat. You know, because I enjoy it. It is a fun game. It's pretty cool. So if it's one of the games that I will suggest first, when you know, throw that out there right off the bat or whatever, you can tell it's pretty high in my head for replayability. So replayability, I'm going to go 8.5 on this. I enjoyed the way it looks. I may not like everything about it, but I like a lot about it. You know, so 8.5 for me.
And here's where I have to interject and say, it's a high replayability except for certain crowds.
Yeah.
And so it's because of its complexity and unusual.
Not that complex.
It's not that
I
complex.
think it's just more unique than
Oh,
complex.
yeah,
I think it's just a different experience.
People aren't used to with board
yeah.
games,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's
It's
not
not
a
a
board
it's not
game.
a gateway board game.
no,
Yeah,
no,
right.
you don't want to pull this out at your family reunion and try to pass it on as that's what I do for fun. People stare at you.
So you think this is going for like a hoity-toity?
No, I think it's for gamers.
Whatever.
It's a gamer's board game, and
You gotta want to sit down and learn to play a game instead of, hey, come on, we're all gonna play a
I
game
mean,
now.
it's not for kids or anything.
it's not
I
a
mean,
time killer.
yeah.
It's not something you do to kill a couple of hours.
Right.
It's something you do because you want to play and try to figure out a strategy for it.
If you're a gamer, you're gonna like this game.
Well, yeah.
It's a good game.
Which, if you're watching this show, you probably
are a
so,
gamer. You know.
So for that reason, and because I like it a lot, I'm going to put the replayability pretty high at an 8.5.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, replayability for me is about the uniqueness of this game, and it can make you feel like it's more complicated than it is, because at least what I found is I was trying to make it more than, it didn't seem possible. Well, really, if I just keep playing the same color card, I just keep going this way. If I play any other color, I go that way. But and if you've never played the game and you're hearing us talk about it, it might not make any sense. But when you see it on the board and you just start playing it out, it works. So just because it's different, anytime I maybe feel like I was in a rut, I'd probably pull this out just to get your brain thinking in a different way and trying to come up with a different style of play. I think it's good for those reasons. So I'm going to give it the same, I think, as the rest there, an 8.5. Replayability. This is a unique style of pirate game that I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah, good game. Give it a try.
And because I think when I first started trying to learn the game, I had to outsource my knowledge on it to videos and stuff. We've been talking before we started filming about actually filming some playthroughs. But if we get enough comments, or heck, even one comment, saying we'd like to see a playthrough of that, maybe we'll film a playthrough of it and throw it up here, because I think that would be a good addition to the internet community for a game like this, where it's so unusual.
Yeah, this would be a cool one to take just us playing and talking, because once you see it,
that's what it is.
Now,
That's the best way to learn how to play this game is to see it played. And so maybe we'll throw one of those and link it to it once it's up in this video.
Cool.
But for the time being, you could take our collected scores and put them right there over the game. And we'll see you next time, next Friday on the Board Game Batcave.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye.